Welcome to the seminar on the JET program, which is the Japan Exchange and Teaching Program. And the JET program will be introduced today by Catherine White from the Embassy of Japan in the UK. So, Catherine.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the introduction, and I'm super excited to see so many of you here interested in JET. So, like you said, I now work for the JET program at the Embassy of Japan, but I was on JET. I arrived back into the UK from JET in just this August, so kind of fresh off the boat, getting back used to life in the UK. And yeah, I went on the JET program and thought I'll just stay for 1 year, and then accidentally stayed for 3 because it was such an amazing experience. So I hope you guys get inspired to also apply for JET as well. So, you know, the reason that a lot of you guys are here is because you don't want to just visit Japan. You don't want to just get the photo and then leave. Like, you guys want to become part of Japan, and that is really what the JET program will help you do. It's not just going to be there as a holiday. It's not just going to be go and then leave again. Like, you really become integrated into the area that you're living in. You become part of life there. You'll be teaching in a school, so you get the opportunity to really connect with Japan in a way that is not available in any other context. So it is amazing chance. So what is JET? You know, what do we do? So we are a Japanese government-run scheme. So, you know, it is legitimate. You know, you are looked after by the Japanese government and is promoted through the Japanese government, which is why we are at the embassy. And it was set up 31 years ago, back in 1987, as a way to improve foreign language teaching within Japan, but also to improve internationalization and introduce school children and the general community to different nationalities and different forms of culture. So those are the primary aims of it, is to improve language and improve internationalization. So it's now in its 31st year. It's been going for a long time. 4,700 participants are currently in Japan now on the JET program, with over 40 participating countries. So it is really a huge international program. You'll get to meet people from Japan, obviously, but also from people from all over the world: America, New Zealand, China, Korea. It is a really amazing opportunity to connect fully with the world. So yeah, it's a great opportunity. So what opportunities are available to you? The first one, and the one that takes has the most positions, is the assistant language teacher role. I was an ALT back in Hiroshima for 3 years, and so you can get placed in elementary, junior, or senior high schools around Japan. So elementary school is about the same as our year 1 to our year 6, and then junior high is about year 7 to year 10, and then senior high school is about year 11 through to our sixth form. So you could get placed in any of those. I was in senior high school level, so I was teaching 15 to 18-year-olds, which was a lot of fun, but they're going through all their crazy hormones. But that was, it was great. They were super cheeky, super great. And the position is so that you teach in tandem with a Japanese teacher, so you're not just left on your own to fend for yourself. And this role doesn't require any Japanese, which was great, because I had no Japanese when I went to Japan. And so, you know, you're not going to be left there with the kids speaking Japanese that you're not knowing what to do. So you will have the support of your teacher with you in the class. Ditto, if you haven't had any teaching experience, you will have the support there in the classroom of a teacher with you. You know, you'll get the opportunity to take part in all the school events, which is great. And, you know, the photo there, sort of the second photo along, is my English club, and we would meet once a week on a Wednesday, and, you know, we'd like watch movies, or I made them make scones one time. That was a lot of fun. We made movies in English, we did dramas in English. You know, when I arrived there was only 2 members, and then I managed to hike it up to 10. So that was that was really great. And it was so amazing to make those connections with the kids that I wouldn't have been able to do otherwise, and seeing them just try and use English in a less classroom-based setting. So that was really great. And also, you know, you are a teacher, so you are there to create English activities and promote British culture, or what, if you're not from the UK, then whatever culture you're from, you are there to promote yourself and introduce it to the class. So yeah, it's a great role. I had a lot of fun doing it. Also, if you have a higher level of Japanese, then this position becomes available to you. This is the coordinator of international relations. And so we ask for a high level of Japanese because you would be working in local Japanese government, help and promote international events, organizing events to promote internationalization. Also doing a lot of translation work to promote the area to tourists. So you could be placed in any part of Japan and help make foreign visitors aware of the area and what amazing things there is to offer, which is really cool. You also might have to do some English classes to local government and also maybe younger students as part of international events. So it's a really great position. There are less positions of this because they are just in local government, but it is a really amazing way to help develop Japan's international relations, so it's really cool. That's my friend Trevor in the middle, actually. He was Hiroshima CIR, and he's doing some translation work there for a cruise that was coming through Hiroshima. So, you know, if that's some of the activities that you get to do with that position. So why JET? You can obviously go and teach English in Japan without JET. So what are the advantages? I mean, the big one for me is the fact that it is a government-run scheme. You know, you are well looked after and stuff like that. But these are some of the more sort of materialistic ones. You get a really good salary. You definitely have more than enough to live on and travel and, you know, have a good time. So that's pretty great. The massive advantage of the JET program is that you will get your visa sorted out for you. You won't have to pay for it, which is great, but also as somebody that has applied for visas living abroad in other countries, that is stressful, but that will be done completely for you. You will get your flights paid for with the completion of your contract, and you will get a lot of induction, a lot of orientation. You will be well looked after, as well as getting accident health insurance and grants for TEFL and Japanese study. But yeah, you are completely looked after on the JET program. The support that is offered is like no other program I think can offer. Because you are a JET, you will be you will go to a lot of different conferences in the year where all the JETs in your area will come together, and it's a great opportunity to share teaching ideas, but also really to support each other. Like, living in a foreign country is difficult, and you may find challenges that you wouldn't have expected, but having people that are going through the same situation as you and being able to talk about it and share and help each other is really an amazing part of JET. So there is a massive support network there, including also the staff at your school. You will be given a supervisor. It is their responsibility to look after you and to help you and to translate things from Japanese into English for you. I had 3 amazing supervisors when I was out there. Absolutely, I couldn't have had... My experience in Japan would not have been the same without them. You know, they went above and beyond. You know, they took me to the supermarket when I arrived, and they set up my phone for me, helped me close my bank account when I needed to leave. Like, they really are there for you in all the life situations that you kind of come across. And also you have the AJET peer support group. So So this was something that I was part of. I was part of Hiroshima AJET, and we're a volunteer group of JETs, volunteer our own time to organize events around for the JETs in the prefecture. And, you know, we do like loads of cool different things like whitewater rafting, or sort of big parties, or going kayaking. That one of those is the touch rugby tournament. So, you know, there's lots of opportunities to come together with the JETs and make friends and experience Japan and like have a lot of fun together. And obviously, you know, JET program is about making connections with Japan and promoting internationalization there, but this kind of thing is great for the support that you would need in moving to a foreign country. So it's really great to like share with each other your experiences, and also just a great way to see parts of Japan. And then after JET, JET is minimum of 1 year, maximum of 5 years. So, it's not a long-term thing. So what can you benefit from JET for? How can you go forward after JET? And, really being a teacher and living abroad, you get so many skills that you wouldn't be able to get in any other way. Like, you are constantly working with a Japanese teacher, so you're always in a team. You have to get on with each other. You have to learn to build relationships, to do a class each day, to do however many classes you do, and working around difficult situations. Communication, I mean, you'll be teaching, so you will be presenting every day. You will be up in front of 40 kids and them looking at you and sort of like expecting things of you. So you have to learn to react quickly, to adapt to changes in the lesson plan, and also be able to present effectively. So that's really great. And yeah, adaptability is a big one. Overcoming cultural differences, and learning to read the subtleties that you wouldn't have expected elsewhere. I mean, for one example, for me, like, the teachers didn't like to say no. They don't like to say no in Japan. Like, if you're sort of asking, is it okay to do this? And they're like, maybe. And I'm like, what does that mean? Does that mean yes? Does that mean no? I don't know how to move forward from this. But it meant no. But it's but it's one of those things that you learn to adapt your working style and the way that you approach people, because there are massive differences in the culture and how you interact with it. So you do have to learn to adapt with it, which is great. It makes you much better at working with people, for sure. And also the big thing for me, I came to Japan with absolutely no Japanese, and now I have what I'll call a survival level. It's not fluent, it's not amazing, but I can now talk to people in Japanese, and that's something that I'm most proud of in my 3 years, that I could be able to do that. So it's a really great opportunity to learn another language, apparently the 6th most used on the internet, which is great. So that's cool. But yeah, being able to, and also learning the language while teaching was a great way to understand where the kids were coming from, and the difficulties that they would have with the English language if you are understanding the difficulties in Japanese. And it is a difficult language, but it's a really cool language. So, it was a lot of fun. So eligibility, how can you apply? So if you are applying through the UK JET program, you must hold a UK passport. If you do not hold a UK passport, that's fine. You can apply through your own country's embassy of Japan. So check in your own country for the Japanese embassy and see if they are running the JET program there, and you can apply through it there, hopefully. So that's great. But UK passport holders, you can apply through us at the Embassy of Japan in London. You must hold a bachelor's degree by the time you leave. So the earliest you can apply is your final year of university. You must have finished your degree by late July to go in the JET program, because that's when you leave for Japan, and you all leave together. So, has to be done by then. Not lived in Japan for 6 or more out of the last 10 years. And CIRs, if you're applying for the international relations position, you must have a high level of Japanese, equivalent to the N2 JLPT. You don't have to have the certificate, but you have to be at that level. So yeah, those are the basic requirements. So the application process, it is a long application process, but it is 100% worth it. It is 100% putting in the effort for it. So October, November, you can apply. Our application deadline for this year's intake is actually next week. So if you haven't started applying and you want to, then get on it right now. Basically, it takes a lot, but you can do it if you ganbatte, if you push on hard through it. And so then January, February, there will be the interviews at the embassy, either the embassy in London or at the Japanese consulate up in Edinburgh, depending on your location. And then in April, the results will get announced. You'll get told whether you've been accepted or not accepted. And then in May, you'll get told, if you're successful, where you'll be going, which is always useful to know, and you can research and see what's going on there. And then in July, you'll all come to London together and meet all the people that are going to Japan from the UK and in an orientation, and that's maybe 2 days. And so you'll get more information there. You'll be told exactly what to expect. And also you get to go to the embassy as well, which is pretty cool. And then in late July, you'll leave for Japan. All the British jets will go together on the same plane, or like at least the same time, and you'll arrive in Tokyo. And then in August, you'll have your Tokyo orientation, and this is where you'll come together with all the other new jets, or at least half of them from around the world. So, for me, I was in Group B with the UK, and so we were all together with the New Zealand jets, the Canadians, half of the Americans, not the Irish, not the South Africans, but yeah, you'll be with a load of the other jets coming from different areas of the world, so that's a really awesome opportunity to meet loads of people, and then you have more information, and then you get taken by somebody from the area. They will take you to your area of Japan. You won't just sort of be left on your own to fend for yourself. You'll get told how to get there, so that's really great. And then you'll start. And you'll have an orientation within your own area of Japan as well, so you get a chance to meet everyone in your area and, make friends and connections there. So that's awesome too. So more information, you can go to our website. Please have a look on there at the application. We have all the information for the application process. Please look at it carefully. It is, quite a bit, but like I said, totally worth it. And this year's deadline, as I said, is next Friday. So, good luck to those that are applying this year. We look forward to getting your application. Follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram if you want more information about JET or announcements that are made. I'll just quickly mention next to us upstairs is also the MEXT scholarship. So if you're thinking about studying in Japan, this is a great scholarship. Unfortunately, I didn't do it, so I don't know, I have as much information, but if you're interested in studying in university in Japan, the MEXT scholarship is definitely something to have a look into, and representatives from MEXT are upstairs next to us. So please go and have a check out of that. That's me done. Any questions, please, and thank you.
Do you have any opportunities for people who haven't graduated, or is it all?
It's just graduates, unfortunately. Yeah, that's one of the big. That's pretty much the main requirement of it. You don't have to have a degree in Japanese. You can have a degree in anything for the ALT position, but yeah, need to have a degree to apply.
How many ALTs do you get for 1 year?
From the UK?
Yeah.
It varies from year to year, just because depending on how many people finish their contract, but it's maybe around the 100 mark, but it just totally varies so much from year to year. So yeah, maybe new positions will be created, or less people will leave in that year, but yeah, about that.
Hi, sorry. So on the application form...
Oh, there you are.
Hi. So on the application form, you apply for 3 spaces in the different cities. How likely is it at all that you would get those places, please?
I'll be honest, unless there's a really good reason. Though if you apply for a less popular area, then the likelihood increases. But if you're applying for Tokyo, and a lot of people do, and a lot of people will not get Tokyo because there's less bases there, it is less likely, unfortunately, yeah. Unless there's a very good reason of why you would need to be there. Unfortunately, it depends on the contracting organizations. A lot of schools will potentially ask for, a British male with a science background. They want those things, and if that's what you are, then that's where you'll get put, and that could be anywhere in Japan. But I will say, I applied for JET wanting somewhere in a big city, and that is not what I got. But I stayed there for 3 years. You become so much more involved with the culture and the community if you're in a smaller area. It's just a much more unique experience. So yeah, unfortunately, not super likely, depending on circumstances. Yeah.
Well, the interview time is in January to February, and that's when a lot of university exams are. So would you be able to reorganise for a different time if it happened to clash?
So if you, for example, like when you make your application and you know your exam timetable already, you can request.
We don't know yet.
Okay, so then, you can, if you drop us an email and let us know that that's the situation, and then basically, if you let us know before the end of December, we can maybe make arrangements for that, for sure. But like, yeah, if you need to tell us earlier rather than later, sort of like before you know that you've got an interview, we would need to know so we can arrange accordingly. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey.
Hello. How many applications do you tend to get each year?
A lot. And that's all I'm going to say.
How competitive is it to get onto the JET program? And what would you personally recommend as something to strengthen applicants' chances?
It's pretty competitive. What I'll say, without giving too much away, is it is the Japan exchange and teaching program. So those are three, hints there of what the program is about, and therefore what you should highlight in your application. Yes. It's not a holiday, it's a job opportunity. So think about what you can offer to increase those things to the JET program. Yeah. Hello.
Hello there. A couple of questions. The first one is, obviously, if you get placed in a rural area, not being able to drive might make it a little bit isolating. Would you say that that's the case?
So actually, what we do ask is for people to declare whether they can drive or not, and then people will get placed accordingly. Like if you need a car and you've said, like you won't get placed somewhere where you need a car and you've said that you don't have a driver's license, that wouldn't happen. Somewhere that required a car and you can't know that, that definitely wouldn't happen. I mean, some people do get placed maybe more rurally, but then there are like train links and stuff. I mean, even with a car, it can be more rural. And I think it's just a lot of people you're sort of like, how can I explain this? Your idea of like, distance becomes much different, sort of like, whereas before I'd be like, oh, a 10-minute bus journey to get to see my friend, that's so annoying. That will change to like, oh yeah, I'll spend 50 minutes on a train to go see my mate. Like, just you have to sort of adapt to maybe having like longer commutes to like see people and stuff, but it's all kind of part of the fun. Yeah.
I have a second question, if that's okay. It's about life after JET. So in your case, obviously, you work for JET.
Yes.
I just wanted to know a little bit about both your experience and also people that you know and what they've done afterwards.
So I applied for this job and got, I got it because I'm here. So yeah, I'm working now with the JET program, but a lot of my friends are doing teaching. A lot of people have gone into like professional teaching. One of my friends working for the Japanese embassy in other areas with like the cultural section or other Japan related things, or some people are doing completely non-Japan related things and are working for television or journalism or accountancy or something like that. One of my friends and one of my American JET friends, actually two of them, are now working for the Japanese section in the United Nations. So yeah, definitely a varied mix. Some Japan related, some just not Japan related at all. So a wide variety of future possibilities. Yeah.
Would you say you made any sort of connections with people you're native to Japan, like teachers or anyone else? Like, have you sort of made friendships?
Sorry, could you say that?
Did you make any sort of friendships with people sort of native to Japan? teachers as well?
Yeah. So I mean, a lot of my main friends were other ALTs, but I have like one really best mate who he was a English teacher, and we sat next to each other for 2.5 years, and you know, he just moved to the school. He's just newly married to his wife, and him and his wife would ask me over to dinner. And then, you know, I was around for, not like in the room for, but I was around for like the birth of his first child. But, you know, it was great. Like she just turned 1 just before I left, and, you know, I would get her presents and they would like make me cake. And yeah, just, you know, he's like my best mate. So I miss him quite a lot. And his family as well, like really, you know, looked after me. So, you know, I'll not lie, like not being able to speak Japanese does hinder making those relationships with the other teachers. But as my Japanese progressed, as did my relationships with other teachers. And, you know, like one of the guys, a chemistry teacher actually, like his English was okay, but not great. But, you know, as my Japanese progressed, and like him and his fiance drove me to the airport when I left. Which was really, really kind of them because it was sort of like 6 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, definitely chance to, as long as you kind of keep at it, yeah. But it's not as easy as like obviously being able to speak fluent Japanese, which I didn't at the time. So yeah.
If you had like kids or like a significant other, like a husband or a wife, would you have to go away from them for like a year?
No, you can get a dependent, if you're married, you can get a dependency visa. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I don't really know the specifics of the visa. So I don't want to say anything that's not true, but you can definitely if you have the job, you can take your partner, as long as you're married, with you, and ditto with the kids. That's definitely something that can happen. Yeah.
If you're applying with a partner and you're not married, what are the chances of you, if you're both successful in the application, being placed in the same prefecture?
You can request it, and the head office in Tokyo will try and accommodate it, but marriage kind of trumps not marriage in the likelihood of getting placed in the same area. Unfortunately, yeah, there is possibility, but we can't guarantee. So it's one of those things where, you know, you and your partner would have to like consider whether that's something that you would risk being apart for, kind of thing. But yeah, unfortunately, no guarantees, I'm sorry to say.
Maybe you went there for 1 year, right?
But, it's 3 years.
3 years. So was it? But did you want to have this extension? Was it easy to get the extension?
Okay, so the question was about, is it easy to get an extension? You know, because I thought I'd just stay for the year and I stayed for 3. So yeah, it is easy to get an extension as long as you want to and your school wants to. So you decide in about February whether you want to recontract for the next year. So you're almost committing for another 1.5 years. And if you and your school are, you know, your school will give you the paper to sign, and that's the sign that they want you to stay. And in most cases most cases that will happen, and then you just stay. Yeah, because the visa will be for, at least in my case, it was for 3 years, and so that was really easy. Really easy to stay. Yeah. Oh, cool.
So I'm a teacher here, and I just want to know the difference in the work life there, because I'm working 13-hour days.
Okay.
What's the difference?
So this is an assistant teacher role, so you would not have the same responsibility as the actual teachers. Actual qualified teachers, probably the same work life balance as it is in the UK, but because this is an assistant teacher role, like, you do not have the same responsibility of discipline or homework or making sure their grades are getting higher. You know, you're there to teach English and provide a good way to study English and promote your culture. So yeah, basically I started at 8:45 every morning and then I left at 4:30. So yeah, sometimes I stayed later for my English kids, or if kids needed me, I would happily stay. But yeah, not the same. Okay, we have to finish then, everyone. Thank you so much. Come, if you have any more questions, then come visit us. We're upstairs in booth 18. Yeah. Anyway, thank you.